So let's get into The Walking Dead this week before we head into the nitty gritty of the other media. So this week it was less of, a suspenseful action episode and a lot more of a character development episode and a lot of just tension and just really uh, a piece of art, in my opinion, because what this episode does really well is show and not tell, which is a very important literary device, I guess you could say. Not necessarily a device, but a literary crafting technique that is very important in a lot of things. Not always in creative writing, but it's a big thing of journalism and like creative nonfiction. It's something that is really important, but I think it works very well in um, creative writing as well because you're not telling the reader how to feel. You're showing them. You're basically leading them up to the water's edge, and they're um, jumping in on their own volition because of how you've shown them, basically. And I think The Walking Dead has done this pretty well in this episode. We really see like Daryl go through all the different arrays of emotions, I guess you could say, and he's trying to hide them all. And he just continually goes out on his own, and he just burns himself with the cigarette because he's just so frustrated, and he just lets it out finally. I know that seems to be like a pretty common thing with people is like they do a stress reliever by some type of physical violence and then they start to let it out. I know that's kind of true for me. I did that. I actually fucked up my hand in November when my dad passed away. I like punched the back of like a really tough chair and my pinky has not been the same since, but you know, but then I was just like, ah, fuck it, and I just let it out. But that was a side note. Then of course you had Sasha and Maggie, who have both just lost someone very, very close and actual siblings. Both of them lost a sibling back to back. Obviously, Tyrese and Beth. Um, I still don't like Sasha. I don't. Even with the little bit development, not much. I still don't like her. I still don't understand why she's alive and Tyrese is dead. It's like, why is she alive and Beth is dead? Like, this is just, I don't know. They're keeping her in there just to piss us off, I guess. I don't know. She's a horrible character as far as I'm concerned. Uh, she fucked up the plan. Maggie fought in a different way. She did she fought the silent battle, but she never took it out on anybody. And Maggie is one tough lady. Let me tell you something. I mean, she lost her dad, she lost her mom, she lost all everybody in her family within a close proximity of each other. Like everything. So, I mean, jeez. I mean, there was so many things that she lost in close proximity because you have to realize that all the seasons are probably not that far apart in terms of time, especially well, I, season 2 and season 3 had some uh, time gap, but still, yeah. I mean, like Herschel being sliced and killed was not that far away from season 5 when Terminus started. But anyway, we get to see more from her. Not much from Sasha. She's the one that's really trying to get Sasha out of the funk. She's trying to get herself out of the funk with help from uh Kiyoshi. No, with help from uh Glenn. I remembered his actor's name, but not the character's name for some reason. Um, So there's a lot of struggle with emotions in this episode, and it's most notable on obviously Sasha, Maggie, and Daryl. And there was a great scene with Carol and Daryl, of course, the dynamic badass duo that really just uh, resonated, where she understood how he needs to grieve, and that's why she left him alone, because she knows that he needs to just let himself feel it, and she knows that he's only going to do that by himself, which many of us are like that, including myself. I'm again, I actually identify with Daryl the way he grieves because I definitely grieve alone, and I feel like I'm able to do that best when I'm alone. I don't know. Um, so there was a lot of good stuff in this episode and some retarded shit with Sasha, but then finally there was a couple like of the plot advancement points, I guess you could say. One, there was the water bottles saying from a friend, which we find out later was from the Aaron guy, who we're gonna find out more about next episode, obviously. And this was a matter of trust versus mistrust, and ultimately mistrust or distrust won out in the end, where Eugene was willing to risk his life for quality insurance, but Abraham, right, stopped him, or J.J. Abrams, that's what it is. That's I can't remember everybody's name sometimes, but uh, J.J. stopped him, and I don't know why, because of any character that should risk their life, it's frickin' Eugene for pulling them on like that. So then they find the barn. They finally get some rain after not being able to eat, and drink for so long. Drink much at least. They find the barn and the whole rain thing, and then the last real act was the walkers, and they're able to fend them off and find out that nature was actually the biggest walker killer here, because it was such a violent storm that it blew all the trees down. It just didn't necessarily kill them all, but it immobilized like all of them, which I thought was pretty cool. It was very scenic when they got out in the morning, and then finally we have Aaron revealing himself. He knows Rick for some reason. He knows about him, so God knows what's gonna happen with this guy. The fact that he knows who Rick is um, unsettling, I guess you could say. Uh, and the music box started to work at that particular moment, and that obviously has some kind of significance. Though I must have missed it if the significance of that with Aaron has already been revealed. I mean, I don't think so. I think that will have some kind of significance later on, but for now, I guess we'll have to see. It was obviously set up in such a way that it was going to have some kind of importance. I mean, that's obvious from any kind of literary standpoint. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this review. I thought it was a good episode for what it was aimed to be, which was, a character episode, ultimately, with some action and a little bit of suspense, at the end with the barn scene was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. And the Walking Dead thing was cool with that what Rick said about being the Walking Dead. The story, I thought that was interesting. So yeah, I mean, good episode. All right, so if you're just tuning in, it's time for other media. Uh, if you watch The Walking Dead, hopefully you enjoyed that review of mine. But we're gonna head into the other stuff of the other media here.
Dive right in. All
Yeah.
right, Strider, you got the floor.
All right. So I don't have too much except I'm gonna
Mhm.
talk a little bit about Magi, just a bit,
Okay.
without spoiling anything, of course. Um,
Hmm.
let's see, games, the same stuff. Obviously, uh, if you've watched my streams, I've been playing Path of Radiance, Fire Emblem,
And Ocarina of Time.
and Ocarina of Time. I'm sure you guys know at least Ocarina of Time. I've been cruising through that game, so it shouldn't take too much longer before that's done. So if you want to catch it live, you know the deal.
Well,
It's
I mean, you're not
Twitch.
that you're not not to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but you're not also not that far off from finishing Path of Radiance either.
That's true. I'll have more time
Prob-
for Ocarina though.
yeah, well, I mean, Ocarina, you'll probably be done if probably what next week,
I'm
after next week,
I could conceivably be done on Saturday.
if not minimally next. If not, then next Friday.
Next Friday for sure. Conceivably this Saturday.
Hmm. Whereas, obviously, because of your work, you're only only gonna be able to stream Path of Radiance on Wednesdays. But I would probably think maybe another 2 sessions and you'd probably be done.
Um, yeah, probably two more.
Because what? Yeah, at I would say at minimally 2 sessions. Because I don't think you still have because the chapters remaining are just long enough that
Hmm.
you wouldn't be able to fit them into one stream unless you did like a 5+ hour stream.
Right. Which I could do, but I don't really have the longevity for that unless you guys all want to see me eat as fast as possible, which means
You wait,
normal
hold
for
on,
me.
hold on, hold on, Strider. That's assuming that their power levels are high enough to see you eat. Because remember, you eat on like DVZ level shit where you're eating faster than the eye can see.
True story. Um,
I mean, I highly doubt any of them notice you eating the sandwich on Tuesday's stream.
probably not. I think I had like finished like half of it in like 2 bites, I think. I don't know. But anyway,
You wouldn't want to trust me, you guys. You wouldn't want to face off against Strider in a pie eating contest.
I don't like pie, so
But you would still probably beat everybody's ass.
if it was like ice cream or like
Oh no, no, you
pizza,
can't do ice. No, it wouldn't be ice cream because ice cream you get a brain freeze.
I can do ice cream without brain freeze. Actually, I'm actually
How
very good
much
at that.
how much ice cream though?
A lot, like a lot. With pizza, you guys, well, you've seen me eat pizza probably, but I don't know. I can really
But
like
yeah,
chow down on pizza. Like when my family's done their first slice, I've already eaten like half a pizza. I'm like, all right, I'm done. That was good, thanks. But yeah, in terms of games, those two, I played a little bit of, still play Ultra Street Fighter 4, having fun with that, learning Evil Ryu.
oh,
He's interesting. He's a little different from like he's better than Ryu and but he's harder to use sort of. But I'm starting to learn him a little bit and so yeah, there's that. I don't really play much Dark Souls or anything like that in the past week. I don't think I played any of it. I might have
uh,
just taken a break from it because I've been mostly just watching, writing, and playing Ultra Street Fighter
yeah.
4 and streaming.
Oh yeah, you got so much on your plate as it is.
Yeah, because I probably pumped out 3 or 4 chapters of Iron since last week.
Yeah, that's insane. And so, but anything else of note for you? Movies? Anything?
Before I hit Magi, did I watch any? I don't think I watched any movies. I don't watch many movies these days. I just don't. TV, obviously Walking Dead, the usual animes and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I'll touch on Magi a little bit. So I've been watching the anime, not the and then my tradition is I read the anime and then hit where the anime leaves off on the manga and just catch up. And it's weird because they separated it into two different things. Like there's 25 episodes of the first season, and then the second season is another 25. And but it's called something completely different. It's weird.
What do you mean?
It's like the first series is called Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic or something like that. And then the next one is called The Kingdom of Magic. but in the manga, it's all this, it's like the DB and DBZ, but in 25 episode increments. It's like the fuck.
What?
What's the point of it? I don't get it. You know. And
I mean, uh-huh.
that has I started it a little while ago, and I stopped in favor of rewatching. I think Toriko or something. It might have been when I rewatched Toriko, but because the first two episodes were just kind of, and then it really started to pick up around I think episode 4 or 5, and I'm on the second. I'm on episode 13 of the second series, so like episode 38, and it's pretty damn good, I have to say. It's gotten like pretty stellar with some things. Some things are okay. The art style's awesome. I love the art style. And don't even get me started on Sinbad. Oh my gosh. Sinbad is the shit. Everybody goes nuts over Sinbad, and I know why now. It doesn't hurt that he's also voiced by Daisuke Ono, arguably my favorite Japanese voice actor. And ironically, yes, he's also voiced by Matthew Mercer in the English dub when that gets finished.
Matthew Mercer.
Yes, he. It's like it's a weird trend. Like
Who
recently,
is he? Oh, well, yeah, you already told me about him earlier. Never mind.
yeah, I told
Continue.
you. I told you off podcast. Recently, he's been taking over for Daisuke Ono's roles. He did Tsukishima. They both did Tsukishima and Bleach. He did Daisuke Ono did is doing Jotaro in Stardust Crusaders, and Matthew Mercer voiced him in that test dub, which was awesome, by the way. And now he's doing Sinbad, and there's something else I think, but yeah, it's crazy. But I'm off topic.
Oh, well, that's not really that off topic. I mean, you're talking about other media.
Okay, Magi's storytelling is actually pretty good because where I'm at, there's like certain like there's a couple like facets of story, and it like really starts to converge at a certain point, and it like
Well, I
develops.
mean, for our viewers who may be interested in it, what's the, I guess, basic idea of the show? I mean, every show has a basic idea to it. Like, I
Okay,
mean,
if you want a
if
synopsis of what it's about, it's basically about it's sort of a play off of Aladdin and the Arabian Nights stuff kind of thing, where the main characters are named Aladdin and Ali Baba Saluja, basically, and it's obviously a magic based thing, but basically there are these people that are called Magi, and only a few of them exist in the world, and like the source of like the magic, like in terms of like talking about other things that you would understand, like not quite like chakra, but like drawing from like the energy around them. There,
mhm.
it's called Rook in this. It's called the Rook, and it's like most like everybody else can only use like the magic inside of them, but like a Magi has like infinite because they can draw from like the energy around them basically. That's the best
Uh-huh.
way I can explain it. And basically there's things called like there's like these dungeons, and then there's things called metal vessels, which like these like spirit things like called the Jinn live inside like genies almost, and they grant them power. There's a lot of stuff involved.
Well, is there like a main journey? What's is there like is the main character like what's his journey like purpose? Is he trying to become a Magi or
No,
something?
you're it's a hereditary thing, but
Uh,
or not necessarily hereditary, but you're just born with it. It just happens. You can't become one, as far as I
well,
know.
does the main character have like a goal or something? Like,
Well, it kind of it, I could say he does like the two main characters do get certain goals as the series progresses, but they don't start with it except for like becoming like clearing a dungeon, I think,
hmm
which was like very base level shit. So like if I started to really say like what the main plot was about, it would start to kind of spoil some things. Be-
so basically what you're saying is they start off with some goal to complete a certain dungeon, but then when they get it done early on in the series, and they realize that that's only child's play,
Not necessarily. It just develops into something.
or along the way they find a new goal that's more important to them, I guess.
Sort of. It's the best way I can explain it without spoiling anything.
Alright,
Be-
well, I think we get the point. I'm just,
yeah, because the
you want to
main
be.
the main plot really doesn't come into fruition until just a little bit into the series. It's kind of odd. That's one of the reasons why it starts off kind of dry and then really starts to pick up. Is because the main plot's not really like there in the first two episodes.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's sometimes that's one of the many that can sometimes unfortunately turn people off to the series.
yeah, it turned me off initially, and then I said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna give it another shot because so many people have been praising it, and I'm like, does it get better from here? And they're like, yeah, it definitely does. So I'm like, all right, cool. Um, the characters are good, mostly. I'm not a fan of Aladdin, but I do like pretty much all the other characters that are important to the story, especially Sinbad, of course.
Well,
Um,
everybody. That's anytime I hear anybody mention Magi, they can't mention Magi without saying how good things about Sinbad.
yep, especially King Lightning has that poster in the background.
Uh
It's Sinbad and one of his retainers. Um,
huh. Yep.
the,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, Sinbad he's awesome. I understand the hype now, but well maybe I
The
don't
hype
because
is
I'm not caught up. So
so you could say that for those people who have heard of the legendary Sinbad, the hype is real.
hype is real. The character art, like I said, is really well done. There's a lot of really nice looking women in there. They Whoever the artist is, I have to look it up. Drew some really good looking chicks. But yeah,
Alright, so, anything else you have to say?
no, just that I'm enjoying Magi and probably gonna be caught up soon. Maybe not by next week, but and so you guys can expect to see that weekly review on a Mystic Podcast for me at least.
Yeah. Well, let's see. For me, in terms of games, um, uh, like I said, what was it? In AZX, the day, we played some Dead Nation, which was pretty fun. Some co-op Dead Nation, and I I played some the Legend of Korra. I downloaded from my PS3 on through the PlayStation Network the Legend of Korra game because it was I played a little with AZX and it was fun. It was enjoyable. Not a very long or complicated game, but I had a PSN uh, gift card that I didn't know what to do with, so I was like, why not? Don't tell AZX I said that because that was his Christmas gift like from 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so because the only reason why I can say that on stream is because I know he doesn't watch it,
No.
and so that was fun. But what was really interesting was through a news video about what was it, the One Piece. It was a one. I was watching this video from this one guy on YouTube. He was talking about how they revealed a One Piece themed PlayStation 4 during a conference about Pirate Warriors 3, and apparently there was some like special like for those of people in Japan when if you bought this PS4 which had Sabo, Ace, and Luffy on it, would get a special code to download a special character or something in this mobile game, One Piece game done by Namco Bandai Nam- I can't say it.
Namco Bandai.
There you go. I don't know. Just some they made an official One Piece game, mobile game for the iOS and Android called One Piece Pirate Treasure. And apparently, when he made the video, I think it was either like Friday or Saturday, it had already been out for like nearly a week. And so I downloaded it and I've been playing the shit out of that game. Like it's really it's very addicting, and you know so and then but in terms of gaming, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, I'm like right now my One Piece run of my Pokemon games kind of like casual, like every little bit here, a little bit there, because I got so much else other stuff to do. And as you all know, if you guys been following, Sunday posted another chapter of Dragon Soul, the Guardian Angel, and for those of you curious, the next the title of the next chapter will is Mara versus Von Rage. You there?
Yeah,
Really? What?
yeah, I'm here.
You there?
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought we lost connection because I got the connection problem thing on my Skype, and
Oh, okay. And I think we just got cut.
so
Oh no, we didn't get cut.
okay. So
Well, it's always other media, so.
right. Uh-huh. But did you get that last part I was saying?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So hopefully you guys are all looking forward to that on Sunday. And unfortunately, due to work, thanks to life, I didn't get any writing done this week because my little brother was home from school because of President's Day and the snow, and he was just being super annoying, and he kept breaking my concentration, and plus I was trying to catch up on my weekly shows, and it was had a bunch of shit to do, so unfortunately I didn't get any writing done, which I need to, because if I don't, it'll 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 be a shame for you guys because you won't get the it'll I don't want to wait a whole another year to get back into the groove of things.
Mhm.
I want to keep riding this wave. So, in terms of movies, nothing really. No, I don't. I don't remember if I watched any movies. I mean, I probably did, but nothing really too noteworthy. Um, TV shows, the same usual weekly stuff. Um, but before going to anime, I think that's about it. Before anime, I finally finished my rewatch of Part 3 of Dragon Ball Z, which seemed a lot. Like this last stretch of episodes just seemed to be chugging on forever, because not because the episodes were bad, was because was, like I said, I was busy, so I was only able to watch an episode here or there. I wasn't watching like 10 episodes in a row.
Mhm.
And I got finished rewatching it yesterday on Wednesday, which is yesterday at this point, but since you guys are probably watching this on Friday, it was Wednesday. And I started, and then decided, kept my promise, and started, and as as of this recording the stream, I have watched the first 12 episodes, or the first half of Kill la Kill.
Mhm.
There are very there one of the many issues that people have, when it comes to an anime or a manga, is being able to hook people in within the first chapter or episode. Because a lot of the times people look at the first episode or read the first chapter and are like, all right, if this first one isn't good, I'm not going to watch the rest of the series.
Mhm.
But very few anime like, I'm trying to find the right words for this. let's say very few anime are able to pull you in and blow your mind within the first 5 minutes. Like, I think within like the first 2 minutes I was hooked. Like, and it's just like, and the funny thing is that this like, because when I first, you know, what I've knew about the series prior to watching it and the basic idea of what the premise of the show was, I thought it was going to be a super like other than the obvious nudity that there was going to be it was going to be super uber serious type shit. No, that's not the case. It switches from super serious to super silly and back again with several times throughout every episode without any warning.
Hmm.
And it's just I'm like, wait, what? And it's like it's almost like the entire series is like bipolar. Like you don't know if it's going to be serious, it's serious, but then you're like, oh well, it's bipolar, so maybe it might quickly switch to comedic, then back again. Like,
Yeah, I know.
and being an M-rated show, it's very raunchy and like. And the funny thing is that despite all of this stupid, like the plot-induced nudity, it's not the strangest concept
No, it's not.
for producing for reasons for characters to get like I've seen worse.
It's creative.
Well, not really because there was another series that had that produced a similar way it was called Sakure
Okay.
and it involved fighting like this and like basically what happens is this guy accidentally gets thrown into this you know this place or not place but this he accidentally gets involved in this like weird competition set up by this shady organization that created that involved in science and whatnot and he gathers these test subjects to fight for his side. Most of them are women, and they're fighting each other, and they tend to. And for some reason, in virtually every episode, their fights always result in their clothes being ripped off.
Oh, nice. I'll have
Like
to check it out.
from the sheer force of their fights, and it's just like really, and that's even, and the way he recruits these people to his or should I say marks them as his fighters is by kissing them. It's but it's the thing is that that's almost normal when it comes to anime because Japan. But Killer Kill is definitely so far it's been very good. I mean, great action, hilarious, like scratch your head like what the like it just it's it's funny, it's action packed, but but there's tons of nudity, but at the same time, there's just despite all of that, there's still plenty of like the head scratcher moments. Like, wait, what?
Hmm.
Like you're not even sure what to say. Like, and of course, there's no series that promotes so much nudity would be without its perverts.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's Japan for you.
Hmm.
So, but and like not only and it's just like weird because like it's like I said, the series seems very bipolarish, but I swear the main character is bipolar. Like, and it's funny is because before she got the her outfit, her battle outfit, she honestly, based on the voice and the way she was looked, was like if she wasn't wearing a skirt, I'd think she was a dude.
Are you talking about Japanese or English?
I'm watching the Japanese because
Okay.
they've only English dubbed I think like the first 2 or 3 episodes by now because it's coming out weekly on Toonami
Okay.
and it just started.
I didn't know if they
No,
had
yeah, I
released
didn't.
DVDs or anything prior to that.
Well, no, because I think they started releasing it weekly. No, it's just like with what Bleach was doing and a lot of others.
Hmm.
They release the English dub on Toonami weekly, and then when enough episodes come out, they'll release a set.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, watching it for the Japanese, I was like, is that a dude? I thought the main character was supposed to be a woman. Because I mean, remembered the hair. I was like, wait a minute, that's the hair of the main character. Why does she look like a man? Almost like a. But again, it's the typical tomboy. She has a very tomboyish persona,
She starts to
except for
look
the
more
fact that
womanly as the series goes
she wears
along.
that super her. Well, yeah, but I mean, especially at the beginning when she's trying not to look, doesn't like looking so naked when she's fighting,
Hmm.
but you know, and just like a lot of short anime, halfway through you hit a major plot point, which then I guess almost is like a season end. Like if there was like seasons, it would be like, okay, episode 12 was like maybe the end of one season, and now they're gonna have the rest is gonna be the next season where there's
Hmm.
a slightly so it's definitely definitely can't wait to continue watching it.
So you haven't seen the second opening yet, have you?
Very good. No.
The second opening is amazing. The song is. I think it's better than the first one by like a significant margin.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. I mean, but the music's is really good too.
Hmm.
You know, you know, even though I haven't heard the second opening yet, but still the first opening and ending are I like,
Hmm.
and the soundtrack's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But just the sheer ridiculousness of it between, even though there's a great, there's just so much ridiculousness to it. Like it's just, but it's also just so fun
Yeah, you couldn't
and
expect
enjoyable.
anything less from the Gurren Lagann creators.
Yeah, oh my god, I completely forgot about that. But yeah, very good. So I think that's just about it for me on terms of.
All right. Yeah, the only thing I forgot to mention was speaking of openings, the first opening of Magi is amazing, and the rest are not nearly as good. But yeah, so I guess that'll about do it for other media.